Hello, it is May 3rd, 2023. I am in a dorm room in Steubenville, Ohio. Chuss is in his basement in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Um, just going to throw out a little prerequisite. My throat is very sore. So if this episode sucks, just pretend it didn't happen. And if you like the episode, great. But I don't know how this is going to go, but I wanted to get some content out for the audience. There's some stuff to talk about. Chuss is currently decked out in all Chiefs gear. Is there any particular reason for that?
So first and foremost, not all Chiefs gear. This is actually a Seek Discomfort hat,
Oh,
which was made by Yes Theory. I bought this hat about 4 years ago. Just kind of matches the colors. So I've kind of come to the conclusion that every show that we're going to put out over the next couple of weeks, I'm going to wear a different sports team. Of every, doesn't matter if it's NBA, NFL, whatever shirt I have left or hoodies, I'm going to wear them. Just so that I can just mentally prepare myself and also just get over the idea of having to wear a Jordan Battle Bengal shirt. I have to, I just have to get used to it wearing other teams. I've already worn them for so long, but I have to just get to it more because I actually went door dashing yesterday and I walked into this pizza restaurant to pick up an order. And the guy said, you can't wear that hoodie. You have to leave. And he was kidding. But like I had
what
worn
hoodie were
it.
you wearing?
I was wearing a Chargers hoodie yesterday.
Oh, okay.
So it wasn't a Chiefs hoodie, but it was a Chargers hoodie. But I wore it yesterday and I'll probably have it on for a different episode whenever it goes through the little laundry cycle here. But I wore it yesterday and he was like, you can't wear that here, dude. You can't. Do you know what city you're in? And I'm like, yeah. And I didn't really have like a reason to have it on. I mean, it was an old Melvin Gordon hoodie. So for me to be like, oh yeah, he was a stud for me in fantasy in 2018, it was just a weird thing to say. So
You're never going to believe this, but
yeah, it's a
I'm
Melvin
actually a
Gordon
Steelers fan.
that likes certain players on other teams. Yeah. So
Oh,
this one was actually a hand me down from my other friend. He only wore it like twice, but he outgrew it just because he bought it like in May of like a couple years ago, and then he got really buff over the summer and he couldn't fit into it anymore. So he passed it down to me, and now it's even getting small on me. So
I've been tagging Jordan Battle and stuff because a lot of Bengals fans were kind of iffy about the pick, and now they're starting to grow on him. And now they're talking about how much they love him and they think he's going to be great on a lot of podcasts. And they're like, oh, well, if Jordan Battle plays safety, then Dax Hill can play both. And there's some more versatility there. I'm like, yeah, that's what we were
wow.
saying. That's what we said. I'm like, so I've been tagging Jordan Battle. I'm like, hey, we've been saying this first. We've been with you day one, you more so than me, but like we've both been fans of the Jordan Battle pick
Yeah,
since day one.
I still think it's a great pick for you guys. Like I said, I mean, it's hard for me to, you know, cope with the idea of such a great player that I really wanted to go anywhere else, be on the Bengals, but like I said, he is a solid pick for you guys. So, and I will stick by that. But
Get
in the
my
meantime,
John Cena dancing meme.
you're John Cena dancing. Oh, okay. Yeah, for the listeners that cannot see, um, Josh is currently doing a little jiggy over here.
Yep. I'm
Best way to
excited.
put
I'm
it.
excited for Jordan Battle. Um,
Yeah.
well, two things regarding the Chiefs have actually come out today.
Hmm.
The first is
As an honorary Chiefs fan today, just because I'm just trying to get used to wearing other teams' jerseys and getting bullied for it. I mean, I've already done it before, so I walked into Cleveland with an Eagles jersey on. But we'll continue about Chiefs.
so so Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce will be facing off against Steph Curry and Klay Thompson in the match, which is the one time a year that I watch golf. I don't know if you've ever watched the match, but it's usually pretty entertaining watching professional athletes that are not golfers try to golf for charity. I think last year it was like Josh Allen and Aaron Rodgers versus Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady or something like that. but
So
it was
random, but yeah.
super entertaining. It started off being Peyton Manning versus Tom Brady, and that was super entertaining. Tom Brady is not a great golfer. So I'd imagine having Travis Kelsey out there, this is going to be a fun one to watch. But that is some of the Chiefs news. The other thing related to the Chiefs is Jackson Mahomes has been arrested.
I did, yeah. That was, I think that had been brewing for a while. That Jackson Mahomes
Hmm.
thing. We heard a lot about it on the news about a potential. There was like video proof of him potentially assaulting some girl, and he had said that it was consensual. Some other people had said it was consensual. He didn't seem bothered by it, and a lot of like his TikToks leading up to it. I don't know if this is the same one, if this is the same link to it. I didn't really do a lot of research on it. I just know that he got arrested. Um, and he's in jail for sexual assault or battery of some sort. It's a really weird thing. I don't know if it refers back to the old stuff. Do you know if it refers back to the case a couple months ago where the girl said that he had like assaulted her in the back room or whatever? If it was that same one or if it was a different one.
Yeah, so it's related to the incident that took place on February 25th,
That's what I
I
thought. Yeah.
believe was the day. And he has been accused of suspicion, or he has been arrested on suspicion of aggravated sexual battery,
Mm.
um, where an accusation by the owner of the Overland Park restaurant, which he like forced her to kiss him and or something like that, and maybe do some other things. But yeah, that I that kind of like was big in the news, and then it just disappeared. And there were
Yeah.
memes about it both times because Jackson Mahomes, unlike his brother Patrick, has not been a very likable guy in the news. From
Mm-mm.
dancing on Sean Taylor's number to this type of thing, just not a huge Jackson Mahomes fan. Not a lot of people are. $100,000 bond when he was booked this morning.
Do you think?
So
Do you think Patrick Mahomes will bail him out?
he hasn't done it yet.
Yeah, because I mean he's on $100,000 bond, and Patrick Mahomes on that huge contract of his. You would think, excuse me, you would think that maybe his brother would look out for him, or maybe Patrick Mahomes agrees and says, you know what, Jackson Mahomes, you know what, Mister Jackson, you gotta. Well, he wouldn't say Jackson Mahomes just because it's his brother. I don't think you would go up to your brother or sister and just be like, hey, full name, but nonetheless, he'd probably be like, Ayo, Jack, you screwed up, man. You're gonna have to deal with the
Yeah,
consequences.
maybe Patrick's gonna say, "Hey, you kind of deserve this, and I'm gonna let you kind of suffer the consequences because this is your life." It seemed like there was that rumor a year ago that he had kind of sat down with Brittany and Jackson, Brittany being his wife, and said, "You guys need to chill out. You guys are all over our social media. Like, I love you guys, but I'm catching a lot of hate because of the stuff you're doing. So, like, let's just chill out for the brand type thing."
Yeah,
And Brittany, I think she did kind of calm down, and maybe that's with having a kid is kind of led her to not be on social media as much. But Jackson, oh my gosh, that kid, he was all over TikTok. He was all over Instagram, and you were never going to tell him he
yeah.
did any wrong. I mean,
Me and my friends would
it's
meme about him just because he it's very weird just because like he would do these weird TikTok dances and be shirtless in
mm-hmm.
like jogging shorts. So you'd have like really short shorts on and no shirt, and he would be doing like these very, I mean, I can't, it's kind of being sexist in some way, but more on the side of feminist, or not feminist, feminine dances, more or less. A lot of girl type dances and stuff. And a lot of people had suspected he was gay. And for this to come out and figure out he was assaulting a woman, like through a whole other side of the internet into a firestorm, just because they thought he was gay, just to find out about this, just because there was a lot of just wearing the short shorts, being shirtless, dancing, being like doing like a little like moving a lot of his hips and stuff. And granted, don't get me wrong, Elvis Presley did a lot of that, but it just it didn't sit right with a lot of people. A lot of people thought he was just you know closet in the closet waiting to come out. um but that's kind of off topic. But a lot of times we would kind of just, just with Jackson Mahomes, he was just a very interesting guy. And we always just thought that it was funny that he would just post the same dance over and over again on his TikTok. He would just like he would do the same, like it would be like Renegade or something, and like that really popular song amongst teenage girls a couple years ago, and he would post it over and over and over and over again, just in different rooms. Like it would just be
Right.
him shirtless in like 3 different rooms and stuff, and we would just meme about it. So, and it had nothing to do with who he was or what he was doing. It was just really dumb, and he was just, oh, I'm on the Super Bowl sideline, makes TikTok dance, Just it's just like, stop. It's so annoying.
Yeah, so Dove, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but he's at NFL Dove Kleiman on Twitter, posted a photo of the security shot and then also a video of the security camera in which it appears Jackson like walks off up from off camera and grabs this lady who's apparently about 40, and
40.
yeah, he like grab because she's the owner of the restaurant and
Well,
bar.
yeah. I mean, I just thought then. I
So
guess, yeah. I guess that didn't sit with
and
me.
he
Just the idea of that.
he
Okay.
walks up and he like grabs her and then kisses her and then they like have a discussion off camera. I don't know if there's audio and I can't check right now because we're recording. But yeah, it definitely isn't looking good for Jackson. I mean, they've got the footage right there, so it's not like you can really deny it.
Yeah, it's just I remember a lot of people were saying, well, and some of the video, like people were saying that she looked almost, she had a smile on her face and stuff like that. She didn't seem bothered by it. But also, if she was drinking and he was drinking, alcohol changes how you're
Mm,
reacting to things. So if she was sober, like regardless if she's the owner or not, if she's drinking even just a little bit, just enough to get her buzz, she might not be acting the same way as she would if she was sober. Um, but I just think it's a really just a weird situation going on over there. I mean, I like we went from trolling the idea of being Jackson Mahomes and stuff, like just because of the idea of being like, oh, let's hit the Renegade like in a random parking lot, to like such a serious topic with having to deal with this and
yeah,
stuff. And like I said, I always thought that he was not straight. I always just thought he wasn't straight, and I really thought that he was, you know, interested in men, even though he shut that rumor down a lot. And I think this just kind of proves that he wasn't gay, but also it's not a good way to prove that he isn't gay by sexually
right.
assaulting a woman.
And
So,
it definitely, I mean, the video isn't the end all be all. There might be, maybe there's like text messages between them before or after the incident that show
and
maybe he was
obviously,
interested. There could be more context.
yeah, because I was gonna say, I mean, if this happened back in February and he just got arrested today, there might have been more evidence that came to the surface over the last
Hmm.
couple of months that we don't really know about. Because I feel like if that was the video that they were going off of and they decided like this is it, we're going to arrest this kid, they would have done it probably early March, maybe a week or so after
Right.
it all happened. But obviously something must have came to light for the police to just go out and actually arrest him. So we'll see what happens. There's not
Right.
much going on there. Excited for the golf thing though. That should be pretty
Yeah.
interesting.
The golf thing should be fun.
I have not personally watched it, but maybe
It's really funny. It is
yeah,
really
I mean,
entertaining. Usually
it's
Charles
just
Barkley
usually
does the announcing.
it's usually just something that like I just happen to miss on TV. It's just like, oh, it's gonna be on, and then I forget about it, and then I'm like,
Oh,
oh
it
shoot,
is
I missed it.
so entertaining for no. There was like when they did it during COVID with Tom Brady and Peyton Manning. Uh, Tom Brady was doing so bad, and Charles Barkley was just harassing him the entire time. And he was like, "Dude, if you can hit this and keep it on the green, I will donate $1 million to the charity." And I think it was like the one hit that the one drive where he kept it on the green, and Charles was like, "Oh," it was a really
Yeah.
funny thing to watch. But moving on to the other big, well, not they're all in the AFC. It seems like all the big quarterbacks are over there, but the newest AFC quarterback, we should say, Aaron Rodgers. He
Yes.
he just got another one of his buddies in New York. The New York Jets are signing Randall Cobb, who has been with Aaron Rodgers for most of his career, most of Randall's career. He has been catching passes from Aaron Rodgers. He did have that hiatus where he went to the Houston Texans, and then he came back. He was like, you know what? I like when Aaron throws the ball to me. I don't want these other randos. But now Aaron and Randall are meeting back up in New York. Garrett Wilson is very happy with the Aaron Rodgers signing. He said that everyone is showing up to practice with smiles on their faces. And I've seen a trend on social media. I don't know if this is something the New York Jets fan base is doing like as a group or if it's just a lot of them are doing it separately. But one thing Aaron Rodgers is known for was he didn't get vaccinated for COVID-19. That was a big thing when that was in the news, and they
No,
had COVID zero and all that.
I forgot about that. That was
So,
well, it happens. COVID just feels like a blur now at this point. But yeah, go ahead.
well, that was a huge deal. It was like Aaron Rodgers
Yeah,
is
I
spreading
remember it.
misinformation. He's against the science, all that. Well, now I've seen a couple videos now where we've got Jets fans wearing number 8 jerseys, which is the number that Aaron said he was going to wear, and they're burning their COVID-19 vaccination card to show their loyalty to Aaron Rodgers.
I don't
So
know if that's
the
just
fans, the New York fans love Aaron Rodgers. The New York players love Aaron Rodgers. Stan said he wasn't necessarily a huge fan of the Randall Cobb signing, but it is what it is, he said. So now Aaron Rodgers has both Alan Lazard and Randall Cobb, who were both on the Green Bay Packers when he said he didn't have weapons. So explain the
yeah.
Aaron Rodgers situation to me. Why does he want the same weapons that he had when he said he didn't have weapons?
So for me, well, backtracking a little bit, I just kind of want to touch base a little bit on the COVID vaccine burning card thing. That might be important down the road for just vaccination records. So that I mean, I'm not saying that it wouldn't be, but if you know how like you get those measles vaccines or like just different vaccines, and I know in high schools and stuff, you know, you have to get so many vaccines in colleges and stuff. They provide you have to be vaccinated with a bunch of different things, and I'm not saying that he'll ever have to deal with that problem, or not him, but like any of these people that are burning their cards. But you really never know. So if you did get vaccinated, I don't recommend burning it. I mean, no matter what way or another you lean politically, just don't do that. just hold on to it for now. If you got vaccinated, hold on. If you didn't get vaccinated, just do whatever you want. I just don't think it was a good idea. I mean, I get it's like, and for me also, it goes back to the burning the jersey thing. I would never burn a freaking jersey, no matter how much I hate a player. Like, I had an Antonio Brown jersey for the Steelers, and everyone was like, burn it, burn it. I'm like, bro, I am not burning a jersey. I'm like, that is so much money. I ended up donating it to some child in need that needed something, and I was like, it's not a good player to donate like a jersey about, but you know what? At least, you know, maybe a kid will have some wear out of it just because he's a Steeler fan. But nonetheless, moving on to the Aaron Rodgers idea, just in general, of being in from being in Green Bay to New York and becoming a Jet and not having weapons and stuff. You know, I think I don't know if it's necessarily him being like saying he didn't have, well, in Green Bay, I think he didn't have the weapons, quote unquote, that he wanted. But obviously the weapons that he wanted are not on the team anymore. Devonte Adams is gone. The players that he wanted to play with and that had him in very successful points in his career are retired. They're in their late 40s. And the only player that really just kind of is left is Randall Cobb. And Randall Cobb has been just a longtime friend and a good player for Aaron Rodgers. And I think for Aaron Rodgers, or for Randall Cobb to move and to play with Aaron Rodgers, I think it is a little interesting, but I don't think it's that bad. I mean, New York already has a ton of wide receivers, so Randall Cobb probably won't see the field that much. I think he probably would be a wide receiver 4. He might have some upside for a wide receiver 3 or from injuries. But I think just having the familiar face in the locker room just kind of helps Aaron Rodgers get a little bit more adjusted, because I just find it really, I don't find it on a situation where Aaron Rodgers is just trying to be just getting his old team on the New York Jets. I think he just wants some signs of like familiar faces a little bit, just because you're bringing in this veteran quarterback that's been in Green Bay for his whole tenure of his life, and now he's playing in the New York Jets. He's going from green and yellow to green and white ish. So I think going from changing NFC to AFC, I think it's got to be tough a little bit. I mean, I think same thing with Tom Brady. You go back and when Tom Brady moved to Tampa, I mean, in his first season, Gronk, Gronk came back and played with Tom Brady and stuff, and they ended up winning another Super Bowl not too long after that. And I think it's not necessarily a sign of getting the same players. I think it has a sign of, oh, I have played with this player a long time. I am familiar with this person. I would love to play with this person again. And I think that's kind of what it is. So I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. I think I'm hoping that's what it is. Because there are a lot of weapons that Aaron Rodgers can work with in New York, minus the wide receivers that are coming from Green Bay.
So the one guy who it seems Aaron has really attached to is Garrett Wilson. And he said, hey, there used to be a number 17 who me and him had some pretty good seasons together. And now I got this new number 17, and I think we're going to have a pretty good season together. And of course, the old number 17 was Devonte Adams, who now plays for the Las Vegas Raiders. Garrett Wilson's coming off Offensive Rookie of the Year. Do you think he has a Devonte Adams type season with Aaron Rodgers?
I I think it's gonna take a little bit for New York to just get acclimated in general. I think Aaron Rodgers is just gonna need just game or 2 or 3 just to get acclimated into the new playing style of New York and the coaching and just different aspects of working with the team and different teams that you're playing. You're not playing the same division over and over again. You're playing now, instead of playing in Green Bay's division, you're now playing the Patriots and Buffalo, and you're playing a bunch of different players and teams that you usually only see every 4 years or in a Super Bowl. So for Aaron Rodgers, I think there is a possibility that Garrett Wilson ends up being, they have this strong connection. But do I think it's going to happen right out of the gate immediately? No, probably not. If they start lighting it up, I think it won't be until halfway through the season. And I think that's when people are going to start talking about it. And the reason is just because I think Aaron Rodgers just needs just some time to get acclimated. He's not going to need long. I'm going to say maybe like 3 games, because they're not going to start him in preseason at all. I really doubt it. So for me, I think just give him a couple weeks when it first starts, and then probably about like week 4, I think they'll start having a decent connection, because then by then their timing will be better. They're already working on timing, but the timing will be perfect. They'll know plays. He'll just be a lot better. I think there's all the potential in the world for Aaron Rodgers and Garrett Wilson to have that Devonte Adams Aaron Rodgers connection, but I just think I think it's going to take a couple weeks. I don't think it's going to happen week 1. So I'm sorry, Jets fans. Please do not expect greatness right out of week 1. I mean, I'm hoping Aaron Rodgers turns into a better investment than Russell Wilson did in Denver, because that's not looking real good. We're hoping for a better season for Russ this year, but
you're wearing a Chiefs hoodie, so I mean.
Well, in fairness, like I said, I'm repping all the random team hoodie shirts that I have, just so that I can get acclimated into potentially wearing shirts that I don't want to. So,
Well, just for some context, though, this is Garrett Wilson's second season in the league.
Mm-hmm.
And his rookie year, he had 83 receptions, 1,103 yards, 4 touchdowns. So he had a 1,000-yard season with Zach Wilson, a rusty Joe Flacco and Mike White throwing to him.
Yeah.
The most likely of those three to make the Hall of Fame is Joe Flacco. And I don't think he will.
Mm-mm.
Now you've got
I mean,
Aaron
he might,
Rodgers.
but go ahead.
I don't think Joe Flacco makes
I
the Hall
mean,
of
he
Fame.
might, but it might be a while, like a very
But
long time.
but Aaron Rodgers is a for sure first ballot Hall of Famer. 3-time MVP, 2-time COVID MVP,
Yeah, COVID.
Super Bowl champion. Garrett Wilson's coming off, like I said before, the Offensive Rookie of the Year season. I think, and I agree, it might take 2 games before we hit our prime with them, but I think we could see them out of the gate having a pretty good chemistry, pretty good game. They're hanging out together. They've been going to Knicks games together. They're building that chemistry. They seem to really like each other. Seem to be becoming best buddies like him and Devonte Adams were. I think Jets fans should be very, very excited for this matchup because Garrett Wilson is an athlete, and if he can have 1,000-yard season with Zach Wilson, Mike White, and Rusty Joe Flacco throwing to him, I mean, who's to say he won't have a 1,500-yard season with Aaron Rodgers?
With multiple touchdowns, instead of, what
Yeah,
was it? You said 4 touchdowns?
4 touchdowns. Yeah,
Yeah, so maybe 14 touchdowns,
yeah.
It could be crazy, it really could. Then again though, who are all the Jets wide receivers now? I know they went through a bunch of different, changes stuff. Obviously there's Randall Cobb, but
They
did
got
Alan Lazard, right? Is
Alan Lazard's there. Let me see how they've got their depth chart set up online. So Garrett Wilson is obviously starting. Alan Lazard is listed as a starting wide receiver. Then McCole Hardman Jr., who was last with the Jets, they picked him up in free agency. He's currently listed as a starter. Then behind Garrett Wilson is Corey Davis, who is a decent veteran, but I understand why he's second. Denzel Mims is back there as well, who
mm,
was a 2020 rookie, so not terrible, but good depth. And then there's a couple. There's like Deontay Spencer, Irvin Charles, and Malik Taylor, which Malik Taylor also spent time with the Green Bay Packers. So
yeah.
um, Aaron's got a lot of familiar faces in this locker room with him, and they've got some good depth at the wide receiver position. So I I think if I'm a Jets fan, I'm going to be very excited about Aaron Rodgers to his wide receivers, but especially to Garrett Wilson.
Yeah, I mean, I like I said, I think it might just need some time for Garrett Wilson and Aaron Rodgers, but I definitely think all the potential is there for them, unless obviously one of them gets hurt, which we would hope
Right.
that doesn't happen. But in the event Garrett Wilson gets hurt for 4 weeks or 4 or 6 weeks, then obviously it might be, a struggle whenever he comes back to get back into that chemistry, because if Aaron Rodgers can stay healthy, which he's been pretty good at staying healthy over these last couple of years, and Garrett Wilson, he only played 1 season, but if he can stay healthy this whole season and they just go all the way through the season, lights out, they could be a really, really good duo, and it could be a very, very good team for the Jets. I mean, it really could. I mean, the Jets easily could be second place in that division, if not first, if the Bills just start sucking air. So I mean, we really don't know. I mean, that division is probably one of the most interesting in the NFL at times, because
I
it is one of those divisions that you really just don't know who's going to win, even up until the end of the season over the last couple of years, because recently it's been a lot of Buffalo, but even at times you just kind of are like, oh, who's going to get that second place in the division, and who's going to be secured for another wild card spot, because it's going to, New England, or could it be the Jets or the Dolphins? It's and now the Bills could be falling out and one of these other teams could be coming in. It's a very fun division to watch. I mean, it was kind of like the North over the last couple of years. The AFC North was always a lot of fun to watch, and just over the last couple of years have there been like clear teams that have been at the bottom. But then again, even last year it was pretty good. I mean, you had the Bengals at the top, you had the Baltimore Ravens at 10-7, and then you had the Steelers at 9-8, and then you had Cleveland at 11 or whatever they were at, or 5 and I have no idea. I totally
Yeah.
forget. But
So I wanted to look at Devonte Adams' stats and see how he did with Aaron Rodgers his first couple years. And he was drafted in 2014, but he didn't have a 1,000-yard season until 2018. So
oh
Garrett has already had his 1,000-yard season as a
yeah,
rookie.
and that was with all those bummy not
Yeah,
bummy.
so
Those
maybe Garrett Wilson's gonna be better than Devonte Adams with Mr. Aaron Rodgers throwing to him.
could be. It really could. But I mean, I think time will tell.
2,000-yard season, Garrett Wilson incoming.
Okay. No, you're gonna. I have to sneeze again. Sorry, I apologize. I disagree with that. But give me 1 second while I sneeze.
Well, I don't know if Chus knows this, but no wide receiver has ever had a 2,000-yard season.
Okay, I'm back.
Did you know that? Did you hear what I said?
Well, I thought Cooper Cup did.
Nope.
I thought he was close.
He might have been close, but the closest anyone's gotten is 1,964 yards, set by Calvin Johnson during the 2012 season.
Oh yeah, Cooper Cup had 145 catches for 1,947 yards and scored 16 touchdowns. So.
Oh, wait. I might be wrong here. There is an article here that says Cooper Kupp becomes first receiver in NFL history to reach 2,000 receiving yards in a season.
That's what I thought. Not that was 2021, so yeah.
Okay, that's including postseason. Okay.
Well, that would make sense.
Yeah. So I don't think it's happened if you don't include postseason, which Calvin Johnson wouldn't have included because the Lions sucked.
Yeah. So, but that's why I thought Cooper Cup had already done it, but kind of, just not entirely.
2,000-yard season in the regular season.
Definitely not, but you know what? 1,500, I think, could happen. It could happen.
Gotta hype up Stan the Jet fan. We've been talking about the 49ers quarterback situation a lot on this show. We have talked about we don't know what's going to happen with Trey Lance. And we've heard I saw a thing on Twitter today that was like anyone who talks about Trey Lance in absolutes is wrong. And I think that's right because we have no idea what's going to happen with Trey Lance. They've got Sam Darnold over there. Brock Purdy might not be able to play this season because his UCL is still injured. Chus is like
I can't stop sneezing. I don't know what happened here.
But yeah, so we don't know what the quarterback situation is going to be like in San Francisco. And we thought they have enough quarterbacks. They've got everything figured out. They signed another quarterback today. They have signed veteran quarterback Brandon Allen, who has been the backup for the Cincinnati Bengals the last couple seasons. He's been the backup behind Joe Burrow. He was a backup with Ryan Finley back in like 2019 when I think that was the year actually that.
Wait, what's this quarterback's name? I what was his name?
Brandon Allen, who used to be the backup for the Bengals.
That guy, yeah.
Yeah, when Dalton got hurt, and then in the last like couple games, they put Brandon Allen in, and then they put Ryan Finley in, and Ryan Finley went in against the Steelers, and
you tell me this. Yeah, you tell me this story a lot.
I like to tell you this story because it is one of the greatest moments of my life. But
I mean,
anyway,
one of my favorite stories personally is when Jeremy Hill fumbled the ball when you guys had the lead.
Nope.
That's still one of my favorite. That's my favorite Steelers.
Nope. I know where I was when that happened too. So,
nice.
Anyway, Brandon Allen was backup for the Cincinnati Bengals. He is now a San Francisco 49ers quarterback. So, what do you think they're doing? Does this mean that Brock Purdy isn't going to play? Does this mean Sam Darnold is going to be a starter? Maybe.
I honestly, I think they're just getting depth. Really, I don't really think it's. I mean, I think it's just a practice squad, dude. I really, I don't think it's anything to kind of question here. I mean, they. I mean, I think that Brandon. It's Brandon Allen, right? Yeah.
Yes.
So Brandon Allen, I think he's a solid guy, but I don't. I think in some aspects, I think they're gonna obviously want to run with Sam Darnold to start just because Brock Purdy is hurt. And you said they have Trey Lance as well. So there you go. You have three quarterbacks, and then you have Brandon Allen, who's a fourth. So I think Brandon Allen would just be a third string during the time in which Brock Purdy is hurt. And then once Brock Purdy comes back, then it'll probably be like Purdy, Darnold, Lance, and then Allen will probably get booted or moved to practice squad. So just because
Some
I'm just
disrespect.
well, yeah, just because I think that just the Steelers and a lot of teams just they pack up on a lot of these positions, and like a lot of times I'm like I think we just signed an undrafted restricted or undrafted free agent. I was going to say undrafted restricted free agent, but that's not even close to being correct. An undrafted free agent. He was a Minnesota quarterback, and everyone was like, "What was the point of that?" And it's depth. It's a it possibly could be Mason Rudolph's replacement, but also it could literally just fill in. In the event that Kenny Pickett goes down and Mitchell Trubisky has to fill in, and blah 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 blah. And we'd hope that doesn't happen, just because Mitchell Trubisky is not the
Mitch the
greatest.
snitch.
Mitch, the guy that punches players in the locker room, apparently is too. So
Um, I. It's just so interesting with the 49ers, though. That interests me because they traded up to draft Trey Lance in 2021, the third overall pick, and then they haven't really used him, and now they're still adding guys. So I get that they need depth. I get why they'd want depth, especially after how the NFC Championship ended for them. But like, why don't they come out and say like this is the guy who's going to be starting until Brock Purdy is healthy? Why
well, I
there's
think they're gonna probably try to do a free agency carousel, kind of like the Steelers did, where they had Kenny Pickett, Mitchell Trubisky, and Mason Rudolph just starting all the different games, all getting reps until they decide we're starting this guy. And of course, instead of starting the young buck, the Steelers were like, we're gonna, the young buck or Mason Rudolph, who has been there for a while, we're gonna start the greatest man ever, Mitchell Trubisky. And he folded multiple games. I'm not saying Kenny Pickett did not, because Kenny Pickett did fold in that Miami Dolphins game, but we should have won that Patriots game. Mitchell Trubisky did nothing in that Steelers Bengals win. It was all the defense. And
yes.
then we lost to Cleveland. And then there was the Jets, I believe, or a game in between there. I think there's definitely some struggles for Kenny, but dang, I really don't see what they were thinking of. But I think that's what's going to happen in San Francisco. I think they're just going to be like, this guy, Trey Lance, Sam Darnold, just cycle them around, see who's going to do best.
Are the San Francisco 49ers going to become a victim of the let somebody cook?
Oh, maybe, probably. I can't say it yet, just because there is that possibility that they already pick one, but it really could be. It really could be. It's already starting. It's already cooking up there over in San Francisco. They have all of the makings for a quarterback carousel in San Francisco, and a let somebody cook whooping by Chuss over here.
San Francisco, you could be Kyle Shanahan. You better watch out. Chuss will come
Yeah.
after you.
I get really frustrated with that, and if last year it was it was with Washington and New York Jets and stuff, and I'm thinking this year
Ron
it might be San Francisco. It really could be. I
might
mean,
happen with Ron Rivera again. Ron Rivera might become a
yeah,
2 year victim.
I
With the Sam Howell and Jacoby Brissett, who are they going to let
that's
play?
just so unfortunate, because Sam Howell has all the potential to be really good, and they're just wasting. They're like, he is not our guy. It's like, come on, dude. Like,
Anthony Richardson versus Gardner Minshew.
and whoever else they have in there, because don't they have a third quarterback too that I can't think of the name
Sam
of?
Ellinger.
Sam Ellinger, yeah, who they
Yeah.
drafted a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be
We
very
got some.
interesting.
We got. You're loading up over there, aren't you? You got. You're just waiting.
I'm waiting. I mean, there's nothing I can. I don't think there's anything to be said yet. I think it has a lot to do with when the season starts because I mean, hey, think about it this way: it is May. We're already through the draft. We only have like 3 months, and then training camp starts, and then we get into
Oh, it could be
preseason and stuff.
another one. Another one. I'm just saying you all these bullets.
Mhm.
Tennessee Titans.
Yeah, that might be a bad one too.
Because Ryan Tannehill has said he feels like he's got deja vu with them drafting Will Levis now. He said, I don't need to worry about this guy. He's not like, it's not my job to train him.
Yeah,
Hell, Ryan, it might. Pretty soon, they might pull you and they're going to say, we're throwing in Will because
but that is just so
Malik's still there.
wild. It's so wild though because over there it's Ryan Tannehill, Malik Willis, and Will Levis. Very, very interesting over there. I know it's just a very interesting. Why I don't know, but obviously they're preparing for Ryan Tannehill to go down, and then it's going to be honestly that might be the best carousel we'll probably see because it's going to be Ryan Tannehill getting hurt, and then they're going to be like, we're going to throw in Malik Willis because we don't think Will Levis is ready. Malik Willis is going to crap the bed. And then Will Levis is going to go in. He might do good for a couple games. Then Tannehill is going to go in. Then they're going to be like, put Will Levis back in. And then they're not going to put in Will Levis. They're going to put in Malik Willis anyway, just because they want to. Just because like that was how the Patriots did it. That's how the Jets did it. Oh my gosh, is it the most frustrating thing when a team can't figure out who their dang starting quarterback is? This isn't Madden. This is real life. Just stick with a quarterback and roll through. Like just figure it
Well,
out.
we've got a whole video on whether the Colts messed up by drafting Anthony Richardson over Will Levis, and that's over on our channel. You can go check that out. Only reason I'm plugging that video is because it is flying up the charts, and it might be our first video to cross 100 views, which would be awesome. So if you haven't seen that video, go and check that out. I'll tell you what, there is one team that for sure we know who the starting quarterback is going to be. Cincinnati Bengals. Joseph Lee Burrow is going to be the starter. And they also got their backup to replace Brandon Allen already. It was literally Brandon Allen signs with 49ers, and we came in and we said, okay, Trevor Siemian is our new backup.
Wow.
This
Trevor
comes
Siemian.
this comes a
That's a
few
name
days
that I have not heard in a while.
this comes a few days after Zach Taylor was asked about the situation, and he said, this is just how much faith we have in Jake Browning, who was like the third string. And we might go out and get one of these undrafted guys, or we might go out and get a veteran quarterback. And I think he might have specifically mentioned Trevor Siemian and Brandon Allen. He said we might bring back Brandon Allen. Obviously, they didn't do that. They got Trevor Siemian. Trevor's been a starter recently. He has started for the Bears 2 or so years ago, something like that. But hey, we got our guy.
And the fact that you said we know that the Cincinnati Bengals are starting Joe Burrow just made me kind of like internally scream a little bit because it's like, oh, Joe Burrow is confirmed the only player in the NFL to be for sure starting. When I could make a list of potential quarterbacks that'll probably be starting for their teams with the assumption, for example, I'm going to safely assume that Patrick Mahomes is probably going to start for Kansas City this year.
You
Um,
don't know that.
I'm thinking pretty much. I mean, it's pretty certain over there. I'm thinking that I'm thinking Jalen Hurts might start too for the
Hey,
Philadelphia
Blaine
Eagles.
Gabbert is fighting for the starting position in Kansas City.
Okay, buddy. Okay. Yeah,
Said,
I think if I was him, I would take the training you could get from Patrick Mahomes and then go elsewhere if you think you can be a
hey,
starter.
I bet Blaine Gabbert's brother didn't just get arrested.
Yeah, but nobody's gonna
And
bat an eye about Patrick Mahomes' brother getting
Marcus
arrested because
Mariota's in
Patrick.
Philadelphia.
Oh, Marcus Mariota, he's a scary one. Where's
He
Cam
might.
Newton going to end up? Is Cam Newton going to be the next starter for the the Seattle Seahawks?
He might be. Is he signed anywhere? Let's see.
No, absolutely not. Did Mason Rudolph sign anywhere is a good question, too. What happened to Mason Rudolph?
Cam Newton is unsigned. Mason Rudolph is a free agent.
Still, yeah.
He's going to end up in the XFL. But
He might.
Joe Burrow is that guy, though. Joe Burrow's just special.
Joe Burrow is just that special.
Yeah, and you know what really puts him above a lot of those other quarterbacks?
What?
He is teammates with Jordan Battle.
He also has to win a Super Bowl, too, at some point. Because without winning a Super Bowl, he might just have the same legacy as Phillip Rivers.
No.
And
Phillip,
Matthew Ryan.
I love Phillip, but Phillip never made it to the Super Bowl. So
Matthew Ryan, same thing. Sorry. Matthew Ryan also loses Super Bowl. Only worse, though, because he blew a 28-3 lead.
Yeah, he lost it in spectacular fashion. He will be... Matt Ryan, I think, has like 3 of the NFL's biggest like comebacks against him.
Yeah, he does, because
So
it was the Colts one, too. They were leading like the Vikings like 35-0 or whatever, and
yeah,
Vikings came
I
back
fell
and won.
asleep, and then I woke up, and somehow
The Vikings
won.
That was a funny day. That was a really funny game. I think I was door dashing that day, and I was like, "What happened?" It's funny.
Oh no! But
is there any other special news articles that you want to discuss?
Nope.
No. Okay.
Do you have something?
No, not at all.
Okay. Well, you know what that means then. It's time.
You're gonna have to do your spiel. Okay, go ahead, do your spiel. You know, all right, go ahead.
You ready? Ready for it? Thank you for listening to today's show. If you enjoyed, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. We can be found anywhere you listen to podcasts and on YouTube at No Butts Show. Our social media pages are NoButts_show on Instagram and No Butts Show on TikTok. My Twitter is Josh_Butts_2001. And if you would like to reach us, you can email us at bullmoosepodcast2. That's the number 2 at gmail.com. Finally, our spread shop will be in the description. You can check out all the merch there, including Let Somebody Cook stickers, hats, aprons for those summer barbecues coming up. Once again, if you enjoyed today's show, like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, go do something nice for someone.